Good afternoon and welcome to a quick update of the markets on the crypt. It was an interesting week last week, and Bitcoin closed on a high, breaking September 12th high from last year. And the retrace, it seems, has started. And I mentioned this on January 27th on my Twitter account, where I mentioned that Bitcoin is forming a distribution pattern on low time frames, and I put a plan of where Bitcoin might go next. And I wanted to go along with you and discuss what are the retracement options we have, or what are the scenarios that we might see. So basically, we got rejected from a supply area, and we went back into the range. So the range was formed on the 21st of January till 22nd of January this year, and price has been in this range. We tried to break out on 29th, and we got rejected back again today into the range. So we want to see what's next. So far, this is not really surprising. There's a lot of leverage recently on the long side, so a retracement was expected. Now, what do we want to see? Like mentioned 3 days ago on my Twitter account, we want to make sure, first of all, if Bitcoin is bullish, we don't want to lose key levels. And I mentioned that this key level, 21,600, 21,400 to 600, is a key level, and we don't want to lose it on a high time frame basis. So it is okay if we wick down or close a few candles down on low time frame, but we don't want to stay below this level for a long time. Else this would be bearish, and it means that the whole move might retrace. So we need to be careful and make sure that we look at these levels and monitor it for the next few days. Other than that, this is a retracement, and we will treat it as a retracement where we can buy the dip. But where will the retracement go? So a few scenarios here. So I mentioned on January 27th that retracement to the yearly and quarterly VWAP is very likely, which is around the $20,750 level. So a retracement to this level is very likely because there's a lot of confluence here. We have some equal lows, we have an imbalance, we have a big imbalance actually in this area. It's the quarterly and yearly VWAP. And at the same time, we have a couple of naked point of controls here. So it's a high volume node anyway, and we didn't sweep these levels yet. So it makes sense that we might retrace here. Doesn't mean that we have to, but this is one of the main scenarios I'm looking at. So what do I want to see here basically, and how do I play this? Basically, if Bitcoin retraces that deep, I want to see very strong price action reclaiming this level. Okay, so this is what I want to see. I don't want to see price staying here for a long time. I want this to be a sweep, reclaim, and this is where I would be entering. Okay, this is where I would be looking for longs, not here, because I don't know if it's going to go down, stay here and drop more. So I want to see a reclaim of 21,600, 21,500, whatever the level is. And then I would take a long or add a bigger spot position. So this is one of the scenarios. This is one of the main scenarios I'm looking at. Another scenario that might play out is basically we don't go that deep actually, because we are now in a range, and September 12th high is acting as a mid-range, as a support at the same time. We might actually end the retracement here because this is, again, just to show you, this high was from September 12th. It could act as a support area. So this SR level now could actually act as a support area, and we might actually just end the retracement here. So we need to keep that in mind. But what is my plan here then? So I want to see Bitcoin reclaim simply the range high and accept above the range high. Okay, if Bitcoin reclaims the range high, which is around 23,400, around 23,400, then honestly, I don't see it going down again. So this would be very bullish, to be honest. Okay, even better if it reclaims 23,800, but that I think would be late. So a reclaim for the range high would be a very welcome development that would indicate that this was a very short-lived retracement. Okay. The third scenario that I'm looking at is basically Bitcoin testing the range lows, okay, maybe even reaching 21,600 level, and then reclaiming the range low. So it's forming some sort of a deviation. So it goes below the range low, maybe even to 21,600, then reclaims immediately the range lows. And this would be again a long entry for me to play at least to the range high. And again, if we reclaim this, then our move should continue higher to my targets that I laid out on my video on 27th of December last year, which is 27,000 is my primary scenario. It still is so far. So those are the scenarios I'm looking at. Now, the bearish scenario is basically very simple. Lose this level and start closing below it on high time frame, but below this level specifically, not reclaim this level quickly, close below the quarterly VWAP, then for me, this whole move would most likely retrace at least to the June lows. Okay, and this would be a big warning sign for me. Okay, so those are some of the ideas I am looking at the moment, and I will be positioning myself accordingly. Two of the projects I'm looking to build positions in are two L1s, which are Phantom and Solana. They have outperformed every other L1 with the exception of Aptos. And it seems to me that they will go much further. So my target for Phantom is still 65 cents at least. It has played perfectly since we entered the first time around 23 cents. We played the full move to 43 cents. And I've posted on Twitter again my levels where I would be looking to buy the dip. So we have these SR zones 3 and 4 where we have a lot of confluences where I will be adding 35% spot position. And if we go even lower to these areas, in case Bitcoin flushes quickly, we might even test these areas. I will add a bigger position size, but I do expect Phantom to be outperforming this year and continue high. So again, just to show you what I would be looking at to confirm that the dip is over. Funding rate has been positive in the last few days. I wanted to go back below the neutral level, which is 0.01 on the key exchanges. I want to see this open interest flush out completely, and it has started already. And at the same time, if we look at the liquidation levels, it really makes sense that we take out these longs, these late longs here. We have a lot of longs and a lot of liquidations. So I want this to turn red, basically, and I want to see liquidations happen on the long side. We have seen liquidations so far on the short side, but we haven't seen liquidations on the long side to that extent. So that would confirm that the dip is over for me. And I will be monitoring this very carefully. One thing to note is that this week we have some major dates in our economic calendar. So those dates usually lead to a big volatility and might actually help Bitcoin go to the targets I mentioned at the beginning of the video. So the first one is the FOMC statement on the 1st of February. And the second one is the non-farm payrolls on the 3rd of February. So personally, I don't keep my positions open during that time due to volatility, but I might take positions after volatility happens on these days. So keep those days in mind and act accordingly. So yeah, that's it from my side, and thank you for tuning in. If you want more updates, join my Twitter account, which is the Crypt. I post regularly on what altcoins I'm playing, what are the Bitcoin moves that I'm expecting, and this is updated usually on a daily basis. Thank you.